Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DDB's End Zone Empire with your hosts, Dave, Dustin, and Brian. Your source for the latest and greatest fantasy football info, wagering, injury reports, picks of the week, and more.
That's right, folks. We are here at AB's Bar. It is fantasy. Fantasy. It's the playoffs. We talk about playoffs?
Playoffs!
It is week 2 of the playoffs. We're excited to get into it. It's win or go home, and we're going to break down everything you need to know, wagering, fantasy, and more. But first, before we get into that, I got a little problem, bro. I got something I had to get off my chest.
What you got, bro? Don't start with them, though. All right.
Okay, here's my problem.
Here we go. Let's go a different way.
My problem is the Eagles.
Oh,
They should have ran the ball. Why didn't they? They have a better offensive line than the Bucs have a defensive line. They should have ran the ball 35 times.
yeah.
Okay, they lost. And you know why? Because Hurts had 35 passes and they only had 15 carries out of the backfield. And it was not even competitive. I mean, Nick Sirianni has got to go. He's not ready for the NFL head coaching. They progressively got worse over the year. And honestly, they gave up. I think they gave up on the play calling. The players gave up on the plays, and eventually the tracks came off, or the wheels came off the tracks. And when it came down to it at the end, what did they do well? Nothing. They were one of the best rosters in the league. They did nothing with it. They barely made the playoffs. They lost. They won one game in their last 7 or something like that. You can't win like that.
1-6 in their last 7, but 100% though, they do have probably one of the top offensive and defensive lines, and probably you could honestly argue the top roster.
Yeah, one of them. Right there with the Ravens and Niners and the Eagles, they're all right there. But but here's the thing. I believe the coach has either lost the locker room or is on the verge of losing the locker room. Them guys weren't ready to play. Their heads were down. Their body language is bad. They did not. They were not going to win that game.
No.
And so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a lighter story about the Steelers. I'm not that mad at the Steelers. The Steelers weren't expected to win. They were a plus 9.5, okay? So I get it. They played tough. They just fell short. And people around town, people around the country, they were saying that Mike Tomlin has got to go. The Steelers should move on from Mike Tomlin. I don't think that's the case, Brian. I think they just need a quarterback and maybe an OC. They haven't had a good OC since Bruce Arians. I do like their OC. Maybe they get it going next year. They really just need a quarterback, and we'll see. Better luck to you next year, Steelers.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I being a Steelers guy, when I talk about the Cleveland Browns, I've got a Cleveland Sucks T-shirt on, and I'm telling you, if it's Browns, take it down. That's how we do it. Okay, so
I thought it was if it's brown, you flush it down.
No, if it's yellow, just let it be mellow.
In some circles, it is. In some circles.
Okay.
But I don't know. Honestly, let me take this one. And I think regardless whoever they had at quarterback, I think Houston was just more prepared. As far as a rookie quarterback goes, he's not your average rookie quarterback.
No, you're right. You are right. He's very talented.
Yeah, I think with throwing 16 for 21, 274, 3 touchdowns, no picks against the Cleveland defense that we've seen all year, that could be one of your top 3 defenses that you don't want to face, and he just made it look easy.
Yeah, and now I felt like Joe Flacco just didn't have the strong enough arm to get it done in the cold weather, and I think that was a big problem there because the Browns' dominating defense, they were invisible. They just didn't show up. And I don't know if nobody called them and said, hey, we got a football game today or what. I'm not real sure. But I like their coach. I think they're on the right track, and better luck to you next year. I have high hopes for the Browns next season. Now let's get into some beefs. I've got some beefs with the Cowboys, okay? Some of y'all might call them cowgirls. I call them Cowboys. Okay.
Yee.
Mike McCarthy can't win the big game. Dak Prescott can't win the big game. He's a B quarterback, B plus at the best. B plus quarterbacks do not win playoff games. That's just how it goes. You know why? Because normally they're playing an A quarterback, and talent prevails. It's when it's postseason and everybody's playing for their legacy. They're not playing because you already earned your paycheck through the year. Now you're playing for your name. You're playing for your legacy, and I just
You're playing for your hood.
I'm honestly, I'm gonna blame the whole Cowboys thing on the. I'm gonna blame it on the play calling, and I'm gonna blame it on not having a running game, because Dak Prescott did his due diligence this year. He really put in all the effort and everything he's supposed to. He was, I mean, I think in Week 16 he was still in the MVP talks, right?
yeah.
I mean, 38 touchdowns, over 4,000
Mo.
yards. So I think he did what he was supposed to, but I think it just goes to the play calling, and I think a lot of it is to do with not having a running game.
Yeah, and Dallas, they couldn't stop Jordan Love.
No, 100%.
They couldn't stop the 4 receivers, and I think it comes down to Dallas needs a new head coach. And
I can agree with that, and I think the owner needs to step back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm about to step in the square on the Dolphins.
Oh God!
Whoa.
Okay,
I just want to let y'all know before he gets rumbling on this that two of the 3 hosts are Miami Dolphins fans.
And before he gets into this,
no.
Before he gets into this, I'm
Two of the-
probably gonna agree with him.
Listen,
Go ahead, easy.
boys.
Civil War. It's a civil war.
I know
tonight.
that you love the Dolphins.
I'm coming across this table on you, Trev.
But
Come on
it
now.
is time to admit that Tua is trash. He was 20 for 39. He had 199 yards passing.
garbage.
Yeah, he had one big play all game, and that was an underthrown ball to Tyreek Hill, who came back for it and then made a play, turned it into a touchdown. Okay, that's all well and good, but the ball was underthrown. Why? Because he doesn't have the arm to throw it in the cold weather.
I got a cousin who could have made that throw.
And yeah, my little baby sister throw better than that. No, but if the Chiefs had more potent offense in the red zone, that game would have been 42-7. Skylar Thompson had more passing yards than Tua did in his first game last year in the playoffs. So I don't want to hear it. I think that the Dolphins.
You're going to hear it. You're going to hear
The
it.
Dolphins need a new quarterback.
Brian?
And best luck to you. Maybe they get it and move on.
Brian, do you want to give him a reach around before
I want to add just a couple things on this, because I mean, if you look at the Chiefs' red zone offense last week, the Dolphins actually held them to 4 field goals, and they did have 2 touchdowns. But a lot of this game comes down to game management, and you're looking at Raheem Mostert, which was tied with McCaffrey for 21 touchdowns apiece for most touchdowns in the league. The man had 8 carries, right? And you're looking at just how the game was called. In cold weather, you're thinking he's going to end up with 20 carries, right? And if you really boil this down to, they're not a code team player. In Week 16, they were really in the playoff chase as the number 1 team, which could have been, which they ran into a Baltimore team, which is better. I got you on that still. But if you're the second team versus the better team, you find a way to win. They couldn't that day, which is due to a lot of injuries. And I'm just going to quit making excuses for my team. We got our asses beat.
Yeah.
So
I love the Dolphins, but I'm hearing a lot of excuses on the other side.
But I just want to add one more thing, that you're not going to find a better quarterback right now than Tua. He is worth what you're going to pay for him this year.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sign him, and let's build maybe a little offensive line, give him more time to throw the ball, and throw a couple more defensive pieces at him.
You know what, Brian? I feel like you didn't listen to what I just said. He doesn't have a strong enough arm to compete in the playoffs in these cold weather games.
I'm going to say I'm with Dave.
But
I'm 100% with Dave. I told you when we drafted Tua that he was the wrong man for the job. Since Dan Marino, the Dolphins have a history of drafting horrible quarterbacks. And though we thought he might be a knight in shining armor, I think a lot of people were wrong. I wasn't with him from day one. I don't think he's the right fit for the job. He can't throw the ball down the field. And when you have a weapon like Tyreek Hill, pretty much the whole offense runs through him. You cannot be Super Bowl bound without a guy who can't get him the ball downfield.
Just one more thing, and I'll let you move on. I promise you.
Excuses.
No, it's actually not an excuse. We should not have even been playing at Kansas City. If you date back to Week 13 when we played Tennessee, we had that game by I think 13 points with 3 minutes left to go.
It's a conspiracy.
No, it's actually another one of those things of time management, which we totally screwed the pooch on that game. Tyreek Hill got hurt that game; he was in and out. And if we could have just pulled that game out, we would have been playing Buffalo in Miami as the number 2 seed in that
80
game.
degree weather.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all. I mean,
I'll agree with that.
it's actually just a thing of what ifs.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if ands and butts were candy nuts, we'd
We'd
all
all
have
have
a
a
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
I like that. I like it. Yeah.
The Dolphins, they just okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you straight, folks. You've heard of 5-star ratings, right? There's 5-star recruits, 5-star rating on TV or what have you, movies and whatnot. I give that game for the Dolphins last week a 5 booty hole rating. It was trash, ready to move on. Okay, but listen, I tore them down. I'm ready to build up. Overall, folks, I am very excited and pleased for the future of the league. They have several young coaches. They have several great young quarterbacks. And I think the future of the league is very bright when you look at it as a whole. Yes, there's always going to be ups and downs and ebb and flows of these teams and who's good, who's not. You know, the salary cap, so it's a lot more equal than you might think. But either way, we're going to move on, and we are going to get to these games this week. We're going to break them down afterwards. We're going to give you a little fantasy lineup and
do it
and whatnot. Okay, so. The first game, where's my list? The first game I have on Saturday is the Texans are going to go to the Ravens. Now, this is an interesting game, and we're going to break it down. But before we do, the football mom's not here. We want to holler at producer Travis to give us our injury report for the Ravens and the Texans.
All right, so it looks like with the Texans, there are no injuries reported. Looks like we got Robert Woods coming back from a hip and John Mechie coming back from a foot injury.
Nice.
So they should be ready to roll. On the Ravens side, looks like Mark Andrews is limited in practice from that fibula/ankle injury. Looks like Zay Flowers. So actually, yeah, like I said, he's going to be limited in practice. Zay Flowers, he's got a chance to return. And, he's going to be the X factor.
Yeah.
I tell you what, with Zay Flowers in that offense, that gives the Ravens a complete package on the wide receiver front. And I think with him coming back, they're going to be pretty solid. They've been looking solid without him.
I think, I mean, honestly, I think they can go without Mark Andrews because Likely's been playing so good, but they do need some Zay Flowers in this game to get the win against just a strong rookie quarterback. I don't know what y'all are thinking on this game, but
Zay Flowers or not, I'm taking the Ravens.
all right, well, let's
the Super Bowl.
Let's dive
Brian,
in. Let's dive in.
Is the Ravens are still favored by 9.5 or something like that?
Yes, sir.
What's the over/under? You have that?
It's 43.5.
Okay. So here's what I have. Here's my problem.
Hey, wait. I'm going to add in the weather report first before you
Go ahead.
go in, okay? We're looking at snow and 27 degrees, so go ahead and keep.
Okay.
Go ahead
I'm
and go
okay
with
with
what you
that.
got.
It
Okay.
snows in Texas occasionally.
Okay, all right.
That one
Go
time.
ahead and tell me what you got.
Okay. Stroud is only 22 years old.
Yeah.
And that's a major red flag for me. Even though he's really shined, he showed a lot of promise.
Free my daddy.
But the bottom line is that Lamar is just a better quarterback.
Yep.
The Ravens have more talent.
Yep.
I'm taking the talent. Give me the Ravens for the win, but not the cover. What do you
Preach.
say?
All right. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think this is going to be a closer game than what a lot of people think. But I dug up a little bit. And,
Blasphemy.
if you really look at Baltimore at home, their margin of victory is 14.7.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm definitely taking the Ravens at home. But I think this C.J. Stroud, he's going to put up a better game than what a lot of people think. It's going to be a lot closer. You're looking at Likely. Likely has been killing it. So I think without Andrews, I think they're going to be perfectly fine. They need to get Gus Edwards going. They need to quit sprinkling in this little bit of Hill. They need to leave him on third downs.
Let me ask you this, Brian.
What's up?
If Andrews plays, and the people at home who may be picking a weekly lineup for this weekend or whatever on FanDuel,
Yeah.
DraftKings, is likely still for the low value. Is he still going to get you 10, 15 points? Or
Well, to be honest with you, even with all the reports coming in, I still have Likely at my flex.
okay,
So I mean, I'm still looking at him as he's going to produce, and if he does, if Andrews gets out on the field, I think it's going to be more of a decoy.
yeah,
I think it's going to be more, just to open up Likely all the other receivers. But I really think if they get Andrew or Edwards together this week, as far as with all the snow and everything, it's going to happen. I think if they can monopolize the time of possession, I think they can really kill it. And if you look right now, ever since he's really came back and the rookie went down, can we get a name on the rookie? I'm going to get that for you here in a
no,
minute.
it's
I think it starts with a
no,
D.
it's Dell.
No, rookie running back
Tank
for the
Dell.
Baltimore Ravens.
Mitchell.
Mitchell, there you
Yeah,
go. Mitchell.
excuse me.
All right, ever since Mitchell went down, Edwards has come in and he's been averaging 4.2 yards per carry. So that's enough to get anything done, right?
Yep.
So I think if they can get that going, I mean, C.J. Stroud, if you look at the game he put up last week, Nico Collins been killing it. Singletary's been killing it. You couldn't really ask for a better matchup this week. This is going to be a great game. This could be the game of the week. I don't want to call it that yet, but I've got Baltimore 31, Houston 24. Baltimore's going to take it at home.
That's
It's
right,
Lamar's
folks.
year.
You heard this. Lock it in. The Ravens will win this game. They won't cover. If you're gambling with the spread, go ahead and take the Texans plus 9.5.
Yeah.
So that we're going to just bust down our next game here on the schedule. We have Green Bay going to San Francisco. And before we break it down, let's hear what producer Trav has to say on these injuries.
Well, boys, looks like the Packers. Aaron Jones is back. He's been dealing with injuries all year, but I think with, 8 carries? Or no, I'm sorry, 24 carries, 3 touchdowns last week. He's on a roll, and I think he's back.
Yes, sir.
So then with the Niners, looks like we got Christian McCaffrey practicing full on Tuesday. Appears to be a go after a week off. Juan Jennings, concussion. He'll be ready for the postseason, it looks like. Hoping he'll be ready for the postseason. Sorry. And we got George Kittles. He's been having back spasms. He should be full steam ahead for the divisional
He's going to
roundup.
throw his crutches down. He's going to be ready to go.
I think
Yeah.
George Kittles is going to have a good week.
he is,
Okay.
100%.
Now, Brian, I want to ask you, that 9.5, that line, that's kind of disrespectful, isn't it?
Considering what Green Bay did last week, and let me just throw a little bit of this out here. I told Dave this before the show started, and we're looking at the crop of quarterbacks coming into the new fantasy era, and you're looking at Love and you're looking at Stroud coming in with the same 16 for 21. Only 2 yards apart at 272 and 274, both with 3 touchdowns. I don't think they're giving him the respect that he has earned, considering that Love is making this whole wide receiver core. He's making every name right there. He's making them all. Dobbs,
Yeah.
Reed.
Wick.
I mean, Wick. There you go. I mean,
Yeah, but
Wick,
the Niners have the greatest quarterback since Joe Montana right now.
all right, but it's called a system game, and it is. And
Brock
it is.
Purdy going for 30.
This is actually probably one of the best coaches of probably our era right now. And help me out with it, Dave.
No.
Bill
Kyle
Walton.
Shanahan.
Bill Walton.
Shanahan, probably one of the best right now. He can take any quarterback he can throw in that system. And I'm looking at Brock Purdy's numbers right now: 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Now you tell me, what do they call the guy at the end of a draft? Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
You tell me one Mr. Irrelevant that's going to come in, and a quarterback can take him and make him have those numbers.
Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
Well, yeah.
And which brings me to my point, though, that the Niners are going to clearly win this game.
Yeah.
38 to 31. I mean, Love and the Packers are going to put up a good game.
Well,
But-
they've been the biggest surprise of this year, to be honest with you.
They are, and
Who thought that at this point in the year we would be saying, "Oh, the Packers are playing the 49ers."
No, be honest, preseason, Brian and I were talking about who was going to battle out of the basement, who was going to not finish last between the Bears and the Packers in that division.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what we expected. I
Yeah.
mean, Love
Yeah.
and the company have really surprised us all.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
100%. They've been the biggest surprise.
Exactly. And if you look at fantasy owners, all of them will tell you with Dobbs, Reed, Kraft coming out there at the end of the fantasy football season, like he probably won some people some championships
Yeah.
just because, I mean, that and then the defense. And if you really look up, I'm gonna let you go with it.
Okay,
I'm
listen,
gonna bring
Brian,
this in here
I'm
in a
going to tell
minute.
you something. Mason Rudolph, the third string quarterback for the Steelers, they had a plus 9.5 spread. And you're going to give the same spread to the Packers? I believe that is disrespectful. And Jordan Love, he has a 71 completion percentage. That's better than Brock Purdy. Okay, Purdy has thrown 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in his last 2 games. Love is a better quarterback, for sure.
And who is Love throwing to?
Wait, I just want to know,
Love's he's got help.
did McCaffrey play in these last 2 games? No.
Okay.
No.
I hear you. That's why I say the Niners. Love is the better quarterback, but the Niners have the better team and coach, and that's why I'm going to pick the Niners to win, but not to cover. So lock it in, folks. You go ahead and take Green Bay plus those 9.5 points.
And I want to add out there, on our last game, there's one team that exposed the Niners defense this year, and that was Baltimore in week 16. And they gave up 33 points to the Baltimore Ravens, and the Ravens actually pulled their starters at the end of the game, so it could have been worse.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to say, so if they want to pull that tape, Packers, listen to me. Pull it, watch it, learn it.
I think the Ravens,
it.
they probably they have the strongest chance to win the Super Bowl, I believe. But either way,
All
we're
right,
going to
let's
move
go
on. Our next game is the Sunday game, the early Sunday game, which is the Buccaneers are going to go to Detroit and play the Lions. The Lions' home field gets crazy. I'm going to let you know. But before we get into all that, let's hear from our producer, Travis, and check with these injuries.
Buccaneers, no injuries. They're running 100%. Looks like the Lions, we've got Jamison Williams is back. Pardon me. Served as a number 3 wide receiver and could be a deep sleeper this week. Behind, I don't know who he's behind.
I like it.
Sorry, I must have ended my notes there.
There we go.
So, but on the looks like we've got Sam Laporta. He's been pushing through it, and he proved to be a difference maker last week. So I think he's going to be good to go again this week.
He did post a touchdown, and he had 3 catches.
He looked nice. Wasn't back to Final Four, but maybe this week he will be.
100%.
Yeah. Now I want to tell you guys, I
Bring
like
it.
Todd
I think
Bowles
we're
as a
gonna
coach.
disagree on this.
I think Todd Bowles got a raw deal in New Jersey or the Jets. You know, he just couldn't. They couldn't get the quarterback right. They had some issues there, but their defense was strong. But I think in Tampa is a good fit for him because they have offensive pieces, and he can run that defense and get them going. I really like Todd Bowles as a coach. Also, I really love Dan Campbell. I mean, the Lions are surging right now. They've really shown that they can put some ball games together. Last week, I really was a doubter. I'll be honest with you. I was on the Rams train, and Detroit proved me wrong. They were aggressive. They threw the ball downfield. They ran when they needed to, and I really think the difference here is going to be that Detroit home field advantage, and they haven't been there in a while, folks. They're rowdy. They love it in Detroit. And, you know, it's cold weather, so it's one of those things.
It's in a dome, so we're good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the heat comes from the fans.
Are you ready?
Baby.
Are you ready for this Tampa rate right here? I'm about to give you.
Go ahead.
I'm about to give it to you. All right, listen. If you look at Baker Mayfield last week, all right, let's look at him for the whole season. You're looking at him over 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions, probably one of the best seasons he's posted right now. But if you look at his game last week, the man spreaded the ball around to everybody. He got people in the end zone that you didn't even know about. Moore with a touchdown, Palmer with a touchdown, Godwin, we all know him. But then you got Evans contributing, and then you got Kate Otten, right now with 11 targets, 8 catches for 89 yards. he got everybody in that offense involved. And then you had White to bang the game out at the end with 18 carries for 72 yards. And they're going to be able to do the exact same thing to the Detroit Lions.
No, sir.
Just because Dan Campbell takes too many chances.
He does, but the problem that you're not looking at here is Detroit doesn't give up the run plays like that.
All right, but listen to
They
this.
may
though.
be able to throw the ball, but they're not going to run.
All you have to do is contain those two running backs. Because Jared Goff, honestly, he had a flawless game last week. He went 22 for 27 for 1 touchdown. He didn't have no picks. He didn't have no fumbles. Okay, that's not your normal Jared Goff. Okay, so we're going to look at Tampa Bay's defense. Only allowed Philly's offense under 300 yards, which was 292 for the whole Philly offense. Okay, that's hard to do with all what Philly's got right now. So I look for the defense to step up. I got Tampa Bay 24, Detroit 17. Tampa Bay's taking it
Whoa.
on the road.
Nope,
Easy.
nope, nope.
On the road,
The Lions.
Tampa is taking it. Baker
Travis-
Mayfield.
Travis, give it to him.
Give
Go
it to
in.
him.
Go in on him.
Dual threat in the backfield. The Lions have that locked. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. Who's their, not Khalid? Who's their other receiver?
For Tampa?
No, for
Lions, I'm forgetting his
Oh,
name.
Josh Reynolds.
Reynolds. Thank you.
Reynolds.
thank
I
you,
mean,
thank
he
you.
had a good game last week. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but you know what? That's too much for the Bucks. Mayfield, this season for him is a fluke. This season for him is a fluke. He'll never have another season. Mark it down next year. Y'all can cuss me upside
Hot take.
one down the
Hot
other.
take.
You can cuss me upside. What,
I like
what
it, I like
in
it.
the hell has he done? And
It's
I'm
all
not
about-
saying he's bad.
it's
but-
all about controversy. Give
but-
it to me.
but
Go
what,
ahead.
What he's done in Tampa's nice.
Yeah.
But that comes to an end this week.
Does it?
Tampa. The Lions have too many weapons, and it's 1996 all over again. Only they ain't got Barry Sanders.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
And that's going to be the issue. They don't have Barry Sanders, and they're going to plug up.
But they got two of them, which equals a Barry Sanders.
No,
They're gonna plug
yeah.
up those
Almost
running backs.
equals a Barry Sanders. Let me refrain.
Now, okay.
Yeah, we're
All
just
right.
getting crazy with
Okay,
this one.
guys.
But
Let's rein it in a little bit.
we got a 2-1 right here, and we're gonna be talking about this a lot next week.
Lions for the win.
There we go.
Okay,
There we go.
Next
there we go.
week, folks, we will be talking about how Dave was right when he locked the Lions minus 6.5. You go ahead and mark it down.
Lock
Put that
it.
in your parlay.
Lock it.
Do it. Do what you got to do. But if you want,
Brian does not agree.
He
You
sounds
wanna-
like a hater.
if you want to
but,
win a little money on the side, listen. to
We'll definitely have a side bet going
All
on.
right,
that.
there we go.
And
I like it.
listen, Brian is usually pretty on point here. This time, I believe he missed it, and I love Todd Bowles, but I don't know that. Okay, the Lions marched down the field. The first 3 drives last week, they went 3 drives for 75 yards each for 3 touchdowns. They couldn't be stopped.
I love it.
So I mark it down, folks. It's the Lions as a lock. We're going to move on to our next game, which is but I like that
This is
Ravens-Texans game.
This is
But this
actually-
game might be, because we've already seen it. What was that, 2 years ago? The Ravens-Bills went off. These two teams can put a game together.
and they
okay?
they do
So,
not like each other.
This is the Chiefs are going to Buffalo to play in the snow, and this is the Bills. They seem to have the Chiefs number, but we're going to get into it. But before we do, let's check in on these injuries.
Looks like for the Chiefs, we got Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Kadarius Toney. They're both ready.
Are they?
They're both ready.
That they,
I'm sorry for the suspense, fellas, but they are
No,
both
but
ready, and it
that
looks
might
like the
be bad.
Chiefs are going to be operating at about 99.98%. On the Bills side, looks like we have Gabe Davis with a knee. It's unknown if he's going to play against the Chiefs or not. So if you've got him, you may want to keep an eye out.
Okay. Well, Brian,
let me rave on about this
before I
one
break
first.
it down, let me hear what you have to say about this game. 'Cause
All
it's a
right.
big one. It's big time.
Probably ain't worth nothing.
Look, and everybody listening, they're waiting for me to talk about Pat Mahomes, right? No, the only matter in this game is who has Josh Allen. And everybody looks at all his 18 receptions. Oh, my God, he'll just throw it up. But if you look at the Bills as a team, they own a 6-game winning streak right now. And you've got Josh Allen with 4,300 yards, 29 touchdowns. But you know what everybody don't know about?
What's that?
his 15 rushing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Tell-
right there
preach it.
is the factor. And if you look at it right now, if you look at these 6 games right now, the Buffalo defense is only allowing 16 points per average, and the offense is putting up 25. That's a 9-point margin. So I'm loving that right now. And I mean, I want to talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to put up points right now. If you're doing your FanDuels, you're doing all that. Rice is a good play. Pacheco's a good play. Kelsey's in and out. But I like the over on this, which is 45.5, because there's going to be some points put up. Because looking at the weather right now, we got partly sunny, 24 degrees right now.
Now, Brian, are the Bills still minus 2.5?
They are,
Okay.
but I'm looking at the, as poorly as the Dolphins' defense was last week, they actually held the Chiefs. They had 6 red zones, only 4 field goals, and they had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Now, if you bring that against the Bills, you're going to need more touchdowns to
For
beat
sure.
the Bills. So I'm not liking that, and I've got the Bills in a blowout, 34, Chiefs 17.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now,
The Bills.
Josh Allen is 5-4 in his last 9 playoff games. The last 4 games for Mahomes, he has 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, with a 106 passer rating. And that's off the charts, folks, if you don't know. Mahomes is the better quarterback here.
Sir, that was with Tariq Hill.
The Chiefs have a better defense, and the Bills' defense is banged up. So right now, I've been on the fence about this all day. This is going to be one of those games you can almost flip a coin, because I wanted to take the Bills. I really did. But you lock it in, folks. The Chiefs will win this game. You
Oh,
take
my
that plus
goodness.
2.5. Patrick Mahomes, the talent will prevail
Look.
here. I think they have a
Oh, my
better
goodness.
quarterback. I think Rice has emerged.
Oh, my
Kelsey's
God.
going to get it going. Pacheco's going to run the ball. And you're talking about top 4, top 5 defense from the Chiefs. I think
Look.
that's going to show up.
Look.
Jones is going to get after Josh Allen. The problem here is Josh Allen just seems to do some otherworldly, some supernatural things out on the football field. He can take a team. He can put all of them together, shake them up, put them on his back, and carry them down the field to the end zone. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, this guy knows he wants to win. The problem is Josh Allen makes mistakes. He throws interceptions sometimes. Mahomes doesn't. That's the difference here. Chiefs win. Lock it, folks.
Oh, I've just got to say, Dave, what are you drinking on?
Elijah Craig. Small
That's
batch.
some strong shit. Because, I mean, I just got to say, out of all the predictions this man has made all season, it really killed me that he's locking this game. So, this is a battle. Travis,
Am I understanding?
tiebreaker.
Am I understanding that you think that he's drinking a bit too much on this pick?
I do. Who do you got?
Give it to him. Go in on him, Travis. Go in on him.
What do you got, bro? What do you got?
Y'all really want to know?
Yeah.
The Bills.
There you go.
And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you
All
why.
right, go ahead. Give it to him.
Josh Allen has got to win this game. If he doesn't, he looks like a dud. If he wins, he's still got a little bit of
The man is
he's got a little bit of that air of top tier quarterback.
He does.
Without this win, he drops down below.
Bro, he's took too much heat. He's played at Arrowhead too many times. Guess what? Chiefs are coming to his place. He's going to show him what's up. Travis is.
So don't get me wrong here. Travis is saying
The Bills.
that
It's
if
a must
he
win.
loses, he's a dud. If he wins, he's a stud. Is that what I'm hearing?
Pretty much. I mean, he needs this win. He needs this win. If he doesn't, he just looks like
You
a
know what?
middle of the road quarterback.
He
Oh,
really. He
man,
really.
that's-
And now
Travis
that's not
coming with the
that
hot
doesn't
takes.
mean he's not an explosive.
But honestly,
quarterback
though-
with potential, because he has the potential to take a game over. But see, here's the problem:
Yeah.
is can he win the big game?
There it is. And you know what? He made me really sit and think about this. Right? It's like it's always been at Arrowhead, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got Patrick Mahomes coming to his house.
Bills
Mahomes-
Mafia gonna get at him.
What can
And
happen?
Now, here's the thing: Mahomes, and you heard me say it earlier, doesn't have Tariq Hill anymore. That wherever Tariq Hill goes, he makes an offense. Look at
He
the
does.
Dolphins this year.
The
Look at
Dolphins
turnaround they made.
have a glass jaw. They're the heavyweight with the glass jaw. They've been
That's
knocked
Dave,
out.
Dave,
every-
Dave,
But that's
Do you-
because they have
hey,
a black
Dave.
eye at the quarterback spot.
Dave, come on.
Even though I know Hobbs doesn't agree with me.
Look, they tried to go in for 10 rounds, got knocked out in 4, okay? So
Hate to say
Look,
it. True.
this game really could go either way, and I would not be mad at you folks if you stuck to a 3-game parlay this week.
This would be the hardest
If you
one to bet
feel
on.
like you're going to leave a game out, let it be this game. This is the game to leave out of your parlay, but if you are so inclined, I've already told you, you lock it in. The Chiefs
Bills.
plus 2.5.
Bills.
I'm taking Mahomes. I'm taking the points,
Bills.
and they're going to go to Buffalo and
Bills.
give them the
I
business.
just want to tell all y'all, listen to the background on this one. It ain't all about the host.
Go Bills. Go Bills.
All
This
right.
is for the homies
Hey,
in Buffalo.
Hey, bro, I just want to throw a shout out to my man Dakota. Just sent me a thing, a text that says, finally done and sealed. He's got Lamar Jackson walking through the tunnel. The man thinks the Baltimore Ravens are taking it all the way. I just want to shout out
Yeah.
to Dakota.
I just
can
want to give a
understand
shout
that.
out to my boys up in Buffalo, Ben, Jack, Adam, and Terry. Go Bills.
Oh, okay. All right. The Bills have the team, and they have a chance to get the job done here. And like Brian's saying, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bills did separate a little bit and maybe won by a touchdown or 2.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I would not be shocked to find out that the Chiefs ended up winning this game and by 10 points. You know, this is one of those I would maybe leave out of your parlay, but if you want to lock one, go ahead and you lock the Chiefs and take the points.
I just one more thing. I don't want to honestly say. I don't want to say Josh Allen's better than Mahomes. I'm looking at the weapons they have.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at everything around him, and right now Mahomes don't have it. All he has is Rice. He has Pacheco. Kelsey is. I mean, are we putting him in there, guys?
Well, here's
He
the
hasn't
problem.
shown up.
Outside of Rice being a top tier target, which he's just kind of emerging
Yeah,
in a sense,
I like it.
Kelsey is the main person they're going to key in on. So, yeah, that does free up Rice, but here's the thing. You only got 2 threats to worry about, and Rice isn't really a bona fide threat yet.
Yeah, and what I really want to know, and I think America wants to know,
The Bills.
is Taylor Swift going to be there? Because if Tay-Tay's there, then Kelsey may have 2
Tay
touchdowns.
don't travel away, baby.
If I hear that lady's name one more time in a football game, I'm going to be a little upset. Yeah, you heard it here, folks. I ain't with it.
Yeah, okay, our producer Travis ain't with it, but the rest of us, we love Tay-Tay and all of her fans.
Oh, that
They're
sounds
good
like a bunch
people.
of propaganda.
And, no,
They're
no.
upstanding individuals.
Sounds like
Hey,
propaganda.
the Chiefs owner thinks that it makes a difference. So
It's
guess
a
what?
spectacle that takes them off of the fact that they are not winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, I
Yeah,
like it.
and I want-
Dude, high five across the table.
I want to give you something here, folks. If you're looking for an outside chance to make a little money here, Green Bay is hot, okay? I don't know that they're going to win this week, but they have a chance to make a run. They have as much a chance as anybody, really, other than, say, the Ravens and possibly the Niners. But right now on FanDuel and DraftKings, you can get the Packers to win the Super Bowl futures bet. It's a plus 3,000. That means that if you bet $10, you're going to win $300. If you bet $100, you're going to win $3,000. And I think it's like I said last week. It's like handicapping horse racing. You want to pick the horse that has the best chance to win. That's going to pay you the most money. And I think that's the name of the game sometimes. And people don't go out there and chase your losses either, because that's how you get in the hole. Now, before we've wrapped those games up, we want to give you a lineup for your DraftKings, your FanDuel, and what have you. And this week, our lineup does consist. It's a Saturday-Sunday lineup. That means it's all 4 games, and we're going to give you what we think you need to win some money this weekend. And Brian, we're going to start with the quarterbacks. I know we went two different directions on this quarterback, and it might have hurt me later. We're going to figure that out. I went with Lamar Jackson at the hefty price. Who did you take as your quarterback?
I went ahead and I went with Brock Purdy. I'm going off stats alone. I'm going off 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns. So I'm going off that with the price tag of only 6,500.
Plus, he got a pretty mouth.
He said Brock Purdy going to drop 30. I'm saying that Lamar Jackson is playing Houston with a 22-year-old quarterback. Young people, rookies, they make mistakes. That's how. I mean, it's just part of it. Baltimore's defense and team overall is too strong here. I look for Lamar to have a good, solid day. Even with the high price, I think there's still a little value here.
And I do want to say, Lamar's last game, he did drop 355 touchdowns.
He's
so
playing MVP.
watch for it.
Yeah. So
MVP football, boys.
So our next, we have two running back spots here next on our lineup.
Well, let's hear what you got
And
first.
I went with Gibbs, and I went with David Montgomery.
Oh, double Detroit.
Well, the thing is that
Did you pick the Bucks? Or did you pick Detroit?
Detroit. I like the price. I like the price against, even though it's Todd Bowles' defense, I still think that in the short passing game, Gibbs and the outside runs is going to have an avenue to score a touchdown with maybe 40 yards or whatever, and he has a chance with a couple passes to get you around 14, 15 points.
I got you.
David Montgomery, on the other hand, he's going to get those red zone touches. He's going to get the goal line touches. He may have a touchdown, may have two, and he may only have 40 yards, but he might have a touchdown or two to go along with it, and I will also put him somewhere around the 15-point range. And that is a medium to low price tag for Montgomery and Gibbs. That's why I went that route, because I went so high on my quarterback with Lamar.
That's it.
So now we're moving to
hang on. Well, I went with the low and I went with the mid. I went
Okay.
with Edwards because I can see this game being blown up.
Yeah,
I can
Gus
see
the
him
Bus.
running the ball, trying to monopolize the game, trying to keep the offense off the field. And then I went with Pacheco because he's one of the craziest runners in the NFL. But
He runs hard.
Dude, he runs amazing. So I think
That boy good. He real good.
that's it. I think even though Buffalo's defense, I think they're going to show up. Isaiah Pacheco's still going to get his. So I think at the price tags right there, you can really save your money.
Yeah, I like that Pacheco pick. Even though the Bills, that's the thing. All these teams are good. You kind of just have to go with your gut sometimes. I like both those picks. So, Brian, now we're going to move to our wide receivers. We got three up. And for me, I had Brandon Ayuk, Zay Flowers, and then and Zay was a kind of a medium to low value. I think he's got a lot of upside, and I think he's a lot of value here. But my cheap receiver, I went really low. Out of necessity, and I have Palmer for the Buccaneers. Is that Trey Palmer? Is that his name?
Yeah.
If it's not, we apologize. But Palmer, I mean, I got him for 5,200, which is a low ball number for your lineup, and he is one of those boomer bust guys. And here's the thing: he had a touchdown last week. But when you're going with your low budget players, you have to find the guy that you believe is going to score some points. Maybe they don't score all week or every week. Maybe they haven't scored a lot of points in a month. But it's a matchup situation, and I feel like this is one of those areas where Detroit lets the receivers get loose. Palmer has a speed that if he catches the ball, he can make a big play out of it, and that's kind of what I'm going for there. And Brian, that is my three wide receivers. Who do you have?
Well, I kind of went with taking Brock Purdy and then taking a low and a mid on running backs. It allowed me to take Brandon Ayuk just like you did.
Okay.
Then I went with Chris Godwin, which is really hot right now. Last 2 weeks, he's just been pouring in the receptions. And then Rashee Rice.
Oh, I love that pick.
Coming in right now with actually a low value of only 6,800.
Yeah.
Under
I wanted
7
him.
right now. You're really trying to find those guys under 7.
He's hot, and he's likely to have 8, 9 targets too. I mean,
I'm trying to build one of those teams. You're not looking at it like, oh my goodness, but you're looking at those subpar players that are going to bring you points, that are going to give you that 10 to 15, right?
yep. And yeah, Brian, that's some solid picks. I hope you're taking notes, folks, because these lineups will work. I'm telling you.
Golden.
So at
what's
tight
at,
end,
tight end?
I have a feeling that we both wanted to save a little money, and I have a feeling we wanted bang for our buck, and we both ended up with the same tight end.
Probably it was probably Ben Winter Coates.
I
like it.
have Isaiah Likely.
I have actually.
Homer.
I'm going to say I got Isaiah Likely in my flex, but I've got Dalton Kincaid as my starter.
Dalton Kincaid. You know what, Brian? That's weird. I'm gonna bring it up in a minute. 'Cause
Very
we both
fine, exquisite pick.
we
sir.
both did something very similar. And Dalton Kincaid, he gets targets, especially in the red zone. That is a solid pick for a medium value there, and I really like that. So we're going to go next to our flex spot, and I feel like Brian and I just did the same thing, but a little bit different.
All right. Everybody
And,
knows who I got.
So
Who's the,
my flex, Brian,
yeah.
for the money I had left over, was a tight end.
I want to say Schultz.
I went with
Laporta.
the big game, the big quarterback, the big superstar Tay
He
Tay in
saved
the
his
building.
money.
Kelsey.
He
You
saved his
give me
money.
Travis Kelsey, baby. I know he did. Look, he had 7 targets last week for 71 yards or
I
something like that.
can't wait to see who this man's defense is.
And so I'm telling you, and this is one of those things that I just have a hunch about Kelsey this week. And I think when the big lights come on, yes, he can't separate like he used to, but he can still
he can find those cushions.
well,
in
and
his
not
zone.
only that, but in the red zone, he can use his body and he can box out and he can catch those passes in the chest
I like it.
against a smaller defender. I like that. So I think those are 2 solid picks at tight end when you're drafting your lineups, folks. And then we're going to move. We have our defenses up. And my defense, I went with a high-dollar defense because I have the Baltimore Ravens playing the Houston Texans with a rookie 22-year-old quarterback. I'm going to take that.
No, this man actually says he's got the Baltimore defense against the Rookie of the Year. Is that it? All right, so
Yeah, okay,
actually,
for
all right,
sure.
All right.
You know what rookies do? They make rookie mistakes.
That's it, and I like it. I was waiting for that rebuttal, but I'm going with the only money I had left, and I'm kind of going with the picks I had during the podcast. I'm going with the Bills defense, which is the number 5 overall. You can get them for $2,800, but I really think that they're going to hold the Chiefs under 20.
Well, and if they hold them to a bunch of field goals like they did last week, that could work out for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and
defense
it's actually,
too, yeah.
it's if you look at it, it's a lot of red zone. It's a lot of, I'm kind of just going with what I had left, so I'm trying to make an excuse for it.
Yeah. No, I get it. I understand. It's a numbers game, y'all. Okay, so those are 2 lineups we had. Those are some solid picks. Please use those to develop your lineup, and we hope you win some money this week, and we're going to win some money this week. Listen, if you've made it this far, you're like family to us. We appreciate you. And if you want to like and subscribe, leave a comment, all that, we would appreciate that even more, because that really, in return, it helps us out. And then maybe if you ask us a question or leave a comment, maybe we can help you out too. Yeah. So, Brian, you got anything you want to get off your chest?
You pretty much just sealed it all up right there. Like, subscribe. Definitely leave a comment, because I'd like to get back. I'd love to have some feedback on what we're doing. If you have some questions, I'd like to throw your name out on here. So just like, subscribe.
Hit us up.
Yep, definitely.
Travis, you got anything?
Do all the mouth breathing you like in the comments, boys. That gets the algorithms up. Let's get a civil war started in the comments section. Maybe you'll boost us.
Yeah,
there you go.
We'll.
I like
So,
it.
At least we'll get something positive out of it.
Yeah. So listen, folks. We have a long shot bet with the Green Bay Packers plus 3,000 to win the Super Bowl. That's a $10 bet, pays $300, or a $100 bet, pays $3,000. There is some value there. Okay, and my locks this week, Dave's locks. Wait a minute, where's my paper? If I can find them,
Lock them all in,
you
but the
give
last
me Green Bay plus the points. I think San Francisco wins but doesn't cover. You give me the Texans plus the points. I think the Ravens win but don't cover. And then I'm going to take the Chiefs minus or plus 2.5.
one.
And that is my 3-leg parlay to you. That is my gift to you folks. But also, I'm going to go in on the Bucks-Lions game, and I will take the Lions at home and minus 6.5. I think you can eat those points.
Oh, easy.
Yep. So happy hunting, folks. This is DDB's End Zone Empire, and we out of here.
Later.
Peace.